Continuing on the dentist. Okay, so we got our bin set up. We've changed and updated each of the thumbnails. We sorted it in a way that makes sense chronologically. That's how the footage is given. So let's just start how we might start cutting this scene. So first I'm going to start with the lady in the chair.
Action.
I hear the director yell action. I'm going to mark an in there.
Ready. Select.
Okay, something happened there. So let me just bring this down so I can start working with it. Hit the letter B, put it into my cuts bin, hit OK. Now I'm set up. I'm going to remember this little arrow here. Open this up to get your extra track information. I'm going to hit the waveform here. Okay, and then to see the entire clip, Command right bracket. Oh, I guess that is it. Okay, so here's a couple of things. It starts off, she's just sitting there waiting.
Ready.
And then she looks up. I know it's a little hard to see this, but when he says where the director is yelling at her,
Ready.
she looks up. Okay? So I'm going to mark an in here. What is she looking at? There's two shots that can help you do that. The first one is the room across the hall. And I'm going to zing through this. They're fixing some things. And finally, the door. Here we go. Say something like this. The door is slowly opening to review this guy in the chair. Okay? And then someone slams the door. Okay, so that's a little unusual. I think they do it a second time. So here's another one. So this is the wide shot, this kind of like continuous take. And what's interesting, then there's that person that slams the door. Okay, is there a third take? Okay, so now that I've done this, what I should have you guys do. Okay, right here, there's a little red add mark. I'm put a mark there. Door TK1. I hit OK. And then that's take one. Here is door TK2. OK. And then finally there is, I believe, door take 3. Door TK3. Okay, so I'm logging these. Now, so I wanted to just look at it and see the difference. So here's take 1. No. Okay, I should mark. That's what we call a false start. Here's the real one. I'll put another marker here. Door TK1A, just so I know it's still part of take 1. Okay, as soon as we can see, he turns his head. Let's watch the slam. Okay, now I'm going to jump down to take 2 by looking at the markers. Seems like a little bit harder slam. Let's go to take 3. Okay, so I would say 2 and 3 are the ones I like better. I like that head turn, that he realized he wasn't looking out the door, and he looks. So I'm going to mark this as my in, and then as soon as he turns his head, I'm marking out. Now, in this case, I'm going to go to her, and something catches her eye right when the director says, right there. She turns her head ever so slightly to look. I'm going to mark this in, and then I have an in and out on take 2, as I call it, of his head turn. I'm going to insert this, which means I'm going to edit this in and save everything after this and push it to the right. So everything we've learned about editing is hit the letter B to bring it down. Now to insert this and shove it down, preserving it, because if I were to hit B, it will wipe out everything that's here. Let me do that first. Here's B. So she looks, we see the door, he looks, and then, okay, we come back to her, but I'm going to undo that, and I'm going to hit the letter V, V as in Victor, which is right left side of the letter B on the keyboard. Hit V, and so now it comes in, and she's still there. See, she looks a little closer. So I'm going to do this. She looks a little bit harder. And then I go back, and maybe now we'll go to the close-up. Okay, here's different ways. Okay, so here's take 1. Look 1. Then there's the slam. That's pretty cool. We can do another one. Let's see what happens here. Here's, I'll call this look 2. Okay. So the door's already open by the time we come here. So I think this kind of pathetic look here is pretty good. And then you see that. So maybe I'll get right to the point where the door. Okay. Halfway through the swing of the door. Okay. Okay, maybe back up just a little bit. Okay, so what we're getting here, I'm trying to tell a story. She looks, we get the wide shot, so we know that it's far away. He looks toward her. We come back to her, a little bit of a look. I'm going to now hit letter V and put him in there. Let's see what this combination looks like. I'm not worried about the sound so much yet. Okay, and then here, oh, there's the startle. Here the director says slam. Okay, we'll save that for the slam. Okay, so how are we going to deal with the slam? Okay, right there. If I go right to that point here, the frame where they'll slam it on the wide shot. The second, both of them are pretty good. Maybe that's a little, let me try that. Insert that. With picture and sound. I'm cutting picture and sound now, just so you guys know. Okay. I'm going to hit Command right bracket to expand, do this. Here we go. From beginning. She looks. We see what she sees. He sees that she's there. She looks again. Okay. It's delayed. That door's already moving. This should already be moving. How about from about there? I'm going to trim that much out. Hit in and out. Hit the letter X. Pulls it up. Let's see how the door sign works. Yeah, I think I'd buy that. He looks up. Okay, and then so. So even though the door has slammed and closed, I'm going to go to get her blink and look. Get rid of that. So here we go. Let's see how the pacing of this works. I don't want to hear this director saying slam, so let me get rid of, here's the thing. I'm going to take the slam from that side and get rid of her side audio. So right now they're all on the same track, which is okay. So if I grab this and try and move, oops, it's grabbing the picture also. I don't want to grab the picture also. So I'm going to unlink this. And so there is a button up here called Link Selection Toggle. Look like 3 little bars and a chain link. So meaning the 3 video and audio tracks. So I unlink that, deselect this here, grab the sound, and just drag this over here. Okay. So here we go. Let's see how this works. Okay, it's a little bit of a delayed thing. I'm going to tighten that up just a little bit more. I'm going to cut this and go right to where she blinks. And I'm going to pull up both video and audio, keep it in sync. I'm going to move this slam across her track. Let's see if that works. I think that's better. But then his little breathing. Okay, now here's where we start having problems. Well, not problems, because I'm going to grab his breathing and I'm going to overlap that with the next shot, which is this. And I'm going to click on the clip, the audio side. Remember, I've unlinked it, so I have independent control, picture and sound. When I have the arrow here, I have a red arrow and I have a yellow arrow, depending where the mouse is at the top of this audio clip or below the bottom half is yellow. Make sure when you do what I'm going to do next with the red arrow, click and hold with your left mouse button with the red arrow and pull straight. Oops. I'm going to hold shift and pull straight down. Okay, turn on my waveforms here. Down to audio 2. It helps lock it in somehow. Then, now if I did the yellow arrow, pull it down, guess what? Everything else fills the gap, which is weird. I don't want that. That's completely out of sync now, because then it'll be weird. Yeah, you hear the sound before it happens. Undo that. So that's the red will move it down and leave a gap. Yellow will, when you pull it down, it wants to close the gap. So there's reasons why it does that. There's times when you want to do that, but in this case, it's not. Now I'm going to grab the white butterfly, expand his breathing, this side and this side, because he's breathing heavy. Okay, so now let's play from here. Okay, I'm going to get rid of director and I'm going to use the red. Notice that I would get the roller, make it red, and I'm going to pull this up and leave a hole there. Don't worry about the room sound. We'll fix that later. Okay. Let's go down here. I hear a little, I'll get rid of this audio. It's the director. What's that? Audio. Oh, it's on him. Okay, let me undo that. I went too far with this. That's what I'm doing. Okay, here we go. Okay, so by putting the audio on 2 tracks, I can get the rest of his gasp. There. Okay, and then there's the sound of slam. So what this teaches you, hopefully, the whole point of editing narrative this way, is that picture is one story. And you build mainly, in this case, the picture story. The sound is a different story. And a lot of times we have to move things around and overlap things and cheat things a little bit. because the slam is on that side. I cut away before the slam, just as the door closes, and get a tighter reaction to her jump. Okay, and so the sound from that slam, if I left it where the picture was, it will end with the picture, which doesn't make any sense, because it'll be like this. Right, because there's no slam on her side. We're mixing these two different things. We'll have the director yelling the word slam, which is not as nice. Right, he says slam right there. Okay, well, that's a little silly. I have a real slam. Why would I need someone yelling slam when I have the real slam? There it is. There's my real slam. And that makes sense that she would jump, because she shouldn't expect that. So picture is telling one story. The sound is enhancing that story. And so learn how to change these and use it accordingly. At the beginning, because it's like a silent movie, the director's telling her what to do, to look, and all this, okay? And same thing with him. So anyway, if you want to cut your version exactly like mine, go ahead. If you want to do it differently, please try a different way. Maybe you start with the close-up of the guy. Maybe you start and combine the close-up with the wide shot, or the wide shot with the close-up. But in any case, here's the other thing that's very, very important. If I load her shot back up by opening up my little tool palette here, I think it's like my little toolbox, and hit match frame, it'll load it up. Okay? The time it takes from when they shot her shot, breathe, she looks, slam. There's the reaction to the slam. That duration on her shot took 8 seconds. In the scene that I have, intercutting the guy, it took 16, almost 17 seconds. I've doubled the duration of the thing. You say, well, but that's not how they shot it. Shouldn't you just make it fit? No. We as editors will control the universe of time. I could gone back and forth. I could gone this way. He looks. She looks. Maybe I can make this go even longer. Okay, I'm going to take everything to the right here, and I can just move this down, and I want to extend his pain. Okay. Okay, was that terrible? Not necessarily. Was it correct? Of course it is, because I just did it. And add a whole nother second. So again, we control that timing for dramatic effect. So then the rest of it is just building the story. After the slam, she decides to get up. She walks toward the door, and then the dentist comes and surprises her. I think we can do better than that. Okay, so that's that angle. We have another angle, which is this angle, as he comes around. Okay, a little better, because he jumps at it. And this is what makes sense. She drops her purse. Get it? Okay, there's no sound on the purse. You got to make that work. Then we also have this angle. So that's 2 angles already. And here she is walking toward the door. There's no sound on this, so you can take sound from the other side, whatever. So the question then becomes, and then they did a different take here. He didn't come around and she didn't jump. Okay, that's a little creepy. Okay, so that up to you whether you want to use this or not. You don't have to use it exactly that way because it's there. So we've got 3 angles. This angle of her walking toward the door, this angle where she's walking to us and we're on the other side of the door, and then you have this angle where the dentist comes around the corner. All right? So how do you intercut that in as much as I had 3 angles at the beginning of her sitting in the chair, to the wide shot of the room across the hall, to the close-up of the guy in the chair across the hall. And I cut that in together. So you will do the same thing of her exit and to her shock in the bump. Okay? All right, I'll stop there.